Boo!
And now it is your turn. I certainly hope you are ready. Let me get the music going.
Oh, yeah. This is called The Demon in the Hallway. I always visited my grandmother as a little girl. She had this light in her hallway that turns on and activates with sound. It was kind of creepy. Sometimes it would randomly light up without any sound. One night, I was over there with my sister, and we slept in the bed with Grandma. She had the TV on, but the sound was off. It was just to light up the room. My grandmother slept on one side of the bed, my sister was in the middle, and I was on the end facing the hallway. That night, I felt scared for no particular reason. Every time the hall light shut off, I would clear my throat or make a noise to turn it back on. It was very late, somewhere between 1 or 2 in the morning, and the light, of course, started to turn off, so it was time for me to activate it by making a sound. I cleared my throat and didn't turn on. I can't explain why I was so scared at this moment, but I knew I needed to get that light back on. I didn't want to make a loud noise, though, because it was dark and everyone else was asleep. I finally decided I was going to clap. I clapped my hands and I turned the light back on. As soon as the hallway light came on, a black figure flew down the hallway into the bedroom. It came down beside my side of the bed, looking at me, before it disappeared out the window to my left. I felt like I was paralyzed the whole time. Couldn't move, I couldn't speak, I couldn't do anything. After that night, I told my mother and my sister and everyone else everything that happened. I could never sleep in that room ever again. To this day, I'm still terrified of her house and have nightmares. I still see that thing when I have that dream. I hear noises every once in a while when I'm there, if I have to go there for family functions, and it feels like something is still there watching me.
Let me ask the first obvious question that's clearly on everybody's mind. What kind of light is that?
I'm guessing that must be like a clap on, clap off kind of thing, but maybe a little more pumped up.
Clap on brand, so
Yeah.
the game says. Trish said shadow people are an actual thing.
We've had a couple stories about shadow people.
We have. You know, I even had my sleep, my true story that happened to me that when I was sleeping.
That was even worse than shadow people.
Yeah. But it made me think of it. Every time I hear a story about somebody sleeping.
Yeah.
What a crazy light there. That thing would be going off like crazy at my house with kids, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking about like just any type of noise could like clear your throat because sometimes turn it on. That is on a hair trigger.
Yeah.
So it must have been like maybe a slightly faulty clap on or something that was like just really sensitive.
Maybe the shadow person was affecting it.
Could be. There's a lot of things there that, obviously something is in that hallway. Something possibly in the house, and it's very strange set of circumstances. But like I was like reading this, I was just like, yeah, this would be something very terrifying for a child to go through. I think they mentioned that they were younger at the time this happened. To see something like that run down the hallway super fast, it reminds me of this one particular short horror movie called I can't remember what it's called now, but
it reminds me of White Noise. What it reminds me of.
Oh, yeah, that
Just
too.
3 figures and white noise.
Yeah. There's this YouTube short horror movie where, like, this creature is, like, at the end of the hallway, and every time the light goes off, it gets slightly closer, but it's, like, in the doorway and stuff like that. You can't really see it. It's just like a shadow. But then it ends up beside their bed and stuff like that. It just reminded me of that.
I'm going to ask another question. So you just sitting there clapping by Grandma when she's trying to sleep? Like, I don't...
Yeah, she must have been really terrified to go through that much, make that much noise, to get that light on. But I guess you could kind of see, like, if you can kind of tell something's there, you might be like, I need to get this light on.
Creepy part was sleeping in bed with Grandma. Yeah, I don't know. How old was the person? Must have been a big bed. They had 3 people in there.
I think in the comments they mentioned that they were like 13 or 14 years old at the time.
Something scary happened, you definitely feel better, I guess, if you're with people.
And I could see like a couple, younger teenage girls in like a big queen size bed with their grandma. That would make sense, especially if the grandma doesn't have extra rooms and they're just spending the night there. Yeah, that would make sense.
It's still creepy. I think this light itself is a creepy concept. Like it would be going on and off all the time on its own. I feel like, which would creep me out.
Yeah, I think the light. You mentioned there was a creepy light. Yeah, because it would just go on and off on its own. So, yeah, that seems like something that exacerbated things.
Exasperated. I like that word.
I wish they would just. I mean, I'm sure she wished they just had a light that just turned on. You know, like a normal person.
You can do all sorts of crazy stuff these days. You could turn light on your phone. You know, you could do all sorts of stuff. Clap on light. Yeah, somebody said we need a sponsorship. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll take a cut from that. They still make those?
Yeah, they do. I think so.
Yeah, you do see, I guess, like, they used to show it in TV shows, right? They'd clap and the light would go off.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's a cool story. It's a short one, like you said, but shadow people are definitely something, I think, like, out of all the paranormal things that people experience, that's probably one of the most common, I would imagine.
Yeah, you definitely hear it a lot, to the point that it's like, you know, it has to be something because so many people experience it around the world.
Yeah. What about you? You ever seen a shadow person? You don't know? I think everybody thinks they've possibly seen some shadow figure. I mean,
I mentioned the one story from the old restaurant that I worked at, where it was like less of a shadow and more of a cloud and like a ghostly white color, but it was a person. Aside from that, I can't really get behind Viv Games.
You're new to here. It was revealed in a story for the first time ever here that Luke had seen a ghost behind Viv Games, and he never said anything until the live stream. So it was revealed. See, that's why you got to join live. You never know what's.
Yeah, and you know, that's like the closest thing to a shadow person. But it just, most shadow people, we will describe it as almost a malevolent creature.
We've heard that. We've seen that a lot. I heard that a lot on the show too.
I didn't feel any malevolence from that thing, I guess you could say. It was more of like, I almost was hit with a wave of curiosity. Like they were curious about our existence. If that makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And so I can't even really tell you what the heck that was, because I've never actually heard anyone else describe it like that. But that's what I felt from it. And then it just kind of went away.
Yeah. I don't know of anything that's like stood out to me too much, but we always think we see stuff. So like, I can't think I've actually seen like I've seen that weird like figure that I couldn't really see features on, but I don't think it was, like we said, or necessarily a shadow figure thing.
That was like a flesh figure. That was weird what you described.
So if you weren't scared, it probably wasn't evil. Your body would tell you. Yeah, I feel like we get those senses when something creepy's happening.
I get that with like regular people sometimes, like
breathing on your neck.
Not quite like that. That would definitely set off some alarm bells. But sometimes you get around a person and you kind of like something about them. You're like, this person's off. And so you can, obviously would feel the same around some sort of entity.
Yeah.
Jeff Townsend Media. CG, good night.
And the question is, do I stay here? Will you be back? Are you gonna come back? Will you be back? Are you coming back?